So my biggest fear, other than filming and doing street photography in busy public areas, is losing my sight. Because if I lost my sight, then I wouldn't be able to do photography anymore, or video, or anything. Or would I? So today we are in Manchester. Now, if you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, you will know how much I struggle with street photography. So I thought, what better way to do street photography than with this chap? This is Gary, otherwise known as Swirly Magnolia, fantastic street photographer, and he's registered blind. Now, when I first met Gary, it was a couple of years ago out in the field whilst I was shooting, and I bumped into him. And when he told me that he was blind, well, the first thing that came to my mind was, well, how can you be blind and be a photographer? It just doesn't make sense. Well, hopefully by the end of this video, it will make sense. So the first thing I asked Gary to show me was, well, what does he actually see?
If I'm looking here, I can see the fingertips because they're against the grey glove. But as I move them against the other fingertips, they've now vanished. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for that today, and if I go that, it's vanished. So I need to be looking for that contrast. That's how I work. I'm looking for the spaces, the gaps, the light coming between things. What I'm seeing is the columns with this side light. So I'm seeing all the white and people coming through, and I'm wanting to try and get somebody just coming through the column.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I think so. I just quite like the, I'm looking for like the single figure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we're kind of looking for that single figure within the simplicity. And that's what I'm talking about with the dark and the light and the low contrast or the high contrast. My condition is called Leber's. Basically, I've got really damaged optic nerves through an hereditary condition. So they are so damaged, so it's not an eyesight condition. That's why glasses don't work.
Okay.
Because glasses are for lens correction. I haven't got bad eyes. My eyes are perfect. My optic nerves are severely damaged, which means the information doesn't go down. Central vision is terrible. If I close one eye, your head vanishes from here. Really? That's how bad it is, yeah. So if I use the peripheral from both eyes, that's how I work my zone out. So sometimes people look and think you're looking all over the place, your eyes are moving. My eyes have to move to make up for the central vision that's missing.
So it's still quite difficult for me to get a grasp of what Gary actually sees. But don't worry, he's got this covered with some Vaseline and an old pair of goggles.
So have a go with the Vaseline. Don't get too Vaselined up.
It's really interesting, really fascinating, because it's hard to get a grasp of.
It's impossible.
It's impossible. I have no idea what, even when you describe it to me, I have no idea what you're seeing. So this is going to be interesting.
So,
yeah.
Put your hand in front of you.
Yeah.
Can you count your fingers?
Yeah.
Right, put your other hand across like I showed you earlier. Can you start to still count your fingers easy?
No, I can't see anything.
Now pull them away, separate them, and if they appear, we're about right for my eyesight then.
So I can see form, I can see light, and I can see shadow. I can see, obviously, zero detail.
Right.
Zero
What we'll
detail.
do is have a look in front of you now, behind the camera, and look for the people coming.
Right.
You can hear them?
I can, yeah.
They're using a trolley, we can tell that because of the noise.
Yeah.
And they're wearing bright colour, I think.
Yellow, yeah. So I'm now going to try my hand at some street photography, visually impaired, and already I can't see anything. Right.
What you're going to do, I want you to walk to the steps, but just be aware.
Be aware that there's a 20-foot drop right in front of me and I can't see anything. Fair enough. Oh, this is nuts.
Can you see the difference coming uphill and downhill?
Downhill's easier.
Was it?
Yeah, because of the white lines.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right, I need to take a photograph. Right, let's see if I can get this. Oh, hang on. I didn't see that. Oh no, I think the shot's gone. Well, that didn't quite work out, but what it did do was give me a massive appreciation for how Gary works and the challenges that he faces with his photography.
One of the ways I always describe it, if people remember the film Predator, people would watch the film Predator, and when it was blended, they knew there was something there, but they didn't know what.
So you must have to rely quite a lot on camera technology. Autofocus, auto exposure, I assume?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, silly question. So what are you shooting with?
Nikon Z8 now, I've gone up to. I wanted the autofocus. I was too many times missing the shot due to the camera and my eyesight, so I moved up to the Z8, which now basically hits focus.
Yeah, it's good. You have like face detection
yes.
and all that sort of stuff on.
Yeah. Today I'm working currently with a 24 to 200, and the way that works for me is I can work at the 24, look for a blurred subject or a subject that I think might be of interest, zoom in on it, hopefully it's not a dustbin, and we go into the 200, we work the scene at a 200 level, come back, pull in and out till we find an image within the scene. So I'm using that zoom as my eyesight to go in and out, but I can't see the back of the screen properly. I still see a very blurred screen. So when I think I've found something, I get my magnifier out, which is a 20 times magnifier. I bring that to the screen to try and work it out a bit.
That 20 times magnifier that Gary mentioned is an essential piece of kit, and without it, he can't shoot. But it's not just photography he uses it for. He uses it to browse his phone, look at images on Instagram, and also to edit his images.
Every single bit of editing is done through that magnifier. It's a 20 times magnifier. The focal distance is about an inch.
Yeah, my nails need cleaning, man, this is ridiculous.
We've just got the light coming. I can see the solitary figure, the silhouette. I have no idea what he's doing yet. Get my magnifier out. Perfect. Is there a race on?
So do you ever get any strange reactions when you have a cane in one hand and a camera in the other?
I feel there is, and it just plays on your mind. But, and I spoke to, I was once at top of Sky Garden in London, and the paranoia was driving me crazy. And I said to my wife, is anybody looking? And she went, do you want the honest answer? And I went, yes, please. And she said, everybody. And I thought, oh. And at the same time, a weight were lifted from my mind because it stopped paranoia. I knew people were looking, and I immediately relaxed. How bad is that if you can't see? Seriously?
I mean, I've got 20/20 vision and I walk into those all the time.
Isn't that just bad though?
Oh yeah, Manchester City Council, sort your act out.
So I like this. It's high impact area.
High contrast.
High contrast, high impact, lots of footfall, but people are moving. And this is one of the other keys. If I was choosing an area where people were settled, they'd be more inclined to come up and say, what you're doing. Here, people are rushing. And so nobody's got the time to stop and go, do you just take my picture? And actually, in an area like this, which is photographic architecturally, then they think you're photographing the buildings. One technique, Tom, for you is somebody's coming to, I do this is a good one, this, is you look at them like they've spoilt your shot and it's what you wanted anyway. So somebody's coming towards you, you've got them in the shot, and you just go, and they walk past going, sorry mate, sorry. I said, it's all right, don't worry.
So how's that for a bit of advice? Photograph where people are walking, where it's busy, then they're not going to stop and bother you if you're taking a picture. And then act like they've messed up, act like they're in the wrong and that they're in the way. Brilliant. that is some quality advice.
It works.
See, I need this advice. I'm terrible. So before we continue on exploring the streets of Manchester, I just want to thank the sponsor of this video, which is Squarespace. Now, if you don't know who Squarespace are, they're an all-in-one website building platform where you can log on and very easily, using their drag and drop system with zero web building experience, you can make yourself a professional looking website, and it will have everything you expect of a modern day website. Register your own domain, get yourself your own members area, online gallery, online store, just everything you would expect of a good website. They even have AI to help you with your copy and design. So if you fancy giving that a go to squarespace.com/Heaton and you'll get a free trial. And if you like that free trial, use the offer code Heaton for 10% off your first purchase. If somebody hasn't got great sight, you think the last thing they would do is pick up a camera.
So my eyesight went when whilst I was hitchhiking on my own in Europe. I was actually in Gibraltar. Before that, I'd actually been at art college and did photography with film cameras. And I couldn't use them after that. Once the digital age came back in, I found I could use digital cameras and put them on a screen. So it allowed me to see the world again. So a world that had become closed off to me and not been able to notice anything, only that few meters range, had then become visible again. It might be visible hours later, but wow, I could share what other people were seeing. I could see that world.
Using photography to see.
Exactly.
Essentially.
So it started off just using it to see. This is the world around me, this is what I experienced, this was something that I saw. And then as I was doing that, I noticed, I actually like that shot. And now and again, I thought, I actually like that, that's nice that. And then I found another one, I thought, I like that. So when I went out then with a camera, I started to say, I wonder if I can find something beautiful here, something good, something artistic, because that was my background. And I started to. So I mean, photography came from still using it to explore the world and get through in the world to also creating art.
I've never been a confident person, which is probably why I struggle so much with street photography. You see, I have a tendency to worry a lot. I worry about this YouTube channel, I worry about if my work is good enough, I worry about traveling to a new country, I worry about my health, and I worry a lot about the future. And it's so stupid, because I'm worrying about things that I can't control, and I'm letting these things occupy a good amount of space inside of my head. But spending the day with Gary has made me see things in a much more positive and optimistic light. Not only is Gary's photography on point, but his approach to all of the challenges he faces is truly inspirational.
You can either let things get you down, or you can move on with it and use it and never... I don't see it as a negative, I just see it as part of me.
Today was one of the easiest street sessions I have ever done. Not only did I learn a ton of practical photography tips, but it made me realise that if Gary, a man with next to no eyesight, can thrive so much in the world of street photography, then really, what the hell am I always complaining about? He approaches everything with a positive attitude in a world where so many people complain and play the victim. Well, I think this shoot was just what I needed.
Right, well, that is our time in Manchester done. Gary, thanks so much. It genuinely has been a pleasure.
It has.
I actually learnt a lot.
Good.
So hopefully any viewers who are watching this are also shy around street photography. Maybe you'll have picked up a few tips as well. Gary, where can people find you and your work?
Instagram, which is swirly_magnolia.
I'll link to it below. Check out Swirly Magnolia's images. They're fantastic. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. And I will see you all next week. Cheers.
Bye.
Good job. Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers. That's it. That's it. A nice, simple outro.
There you go.